Good morning, everyone. My name is Heather Jones, and I'm here to guide us in a meditation. I invite you to close your eyes, allow yourself to settle in your chairs and your space, and I invite you to take a few deep breaths with me. So inhale in, hold it, and do a long exhale. Inhale in, hold, exhale out. One more time, inhale and hold it. Long exhale. How grateful I am to have this moment, to be in the stillness. We have this opportunity to be still and know. We have this opportunity right here and right now to let go of everything that came before this moment, to quiet our minds and soften our hearts and be available for this stillness and the clarity and the presence and the power of God. God is right where we are in this space. It is stillness. It is grace. It is peace. And so I invite us all to take a moment to just simply be in the peace of God, to recognize the presence and the power of God that is right here in this space, in this now moment. We are aligned with the presence. We are one with the presence. We are the presence. It is us. We are the light of God. We are the joy of God. We are the honest of God. We are the peace of God. So recognizing this, I invite us to just sit in the silence for this meditation. If you find yourself wandering, bring yourself back to the breath. Breathe in and do a long exhale out. Once again, I invite you to take a deep breath in and exhale out. One more time, inhale, exhale, long exhale. So I invite us all to come back to this space. Allow yourself to feel this energy around you, your feet on the ground, there's the seat beneath you, holding you up. And come back to this space as we close out in prayer. How grateful I am for this opportunity to get still, to feel the presence, to be aware of the presence and the power and the light, the strength, the truth, the reality of God. God is expressing through me, through and as each and every person within the sound of my voice. We are all one with the one. We are one with God. It radiates and expresses through us as us. So I give thanks for all that has occurred as we centered within, as we listened to the stillness, as we allowed the presence to be present right where we are. I'm grateful for this opportunity to be still. I'm grateful for this opportunity to tune within, to listen. I'm grateful for all that occurs as a result of this connecting and this listening and this being present. So with gratitude, I release this word into the law. I know it is done right now, and so it is. Amen.
Oh Lord, I'm going crazy. Everyone I meet is so darn great. It's like a disease and it's spreading so fast. No one seems to stand a chance. I'm looking at you to come and save me. Whoa, and let love be my song. Oh Lord, meet me down by the riverside. I'm ready to cleanse my soul. I'm washing away all that anger, 'cause no one ever wins when there's war. I ain't gonna study that hate no more, yes. Oh, let love be my song. The people who are scared to lose their power in this world are drowning out the voices of the broken. Lord, I'm so tired of letting fear lead the way, 'cause it never has anything compassionate to say. I'm looking at you to come and save me. Oh, and let love be my song. Let love, let it be my song. Let love, let it be my song. Let love, let it be my song. on, let love, let it be my song. Come on, let love, let it be my song. Come on, let love, come on, let love, come on, let love, let it be my song. Come on, let love be my song.
Good morning, good morning. Okay, stop it. Good morning and happy Sunday. Happy Sunday morning in September. Yeah, something like that. In order to help with our method of recording service, we request that congregants and participants who are not speaking, performing, or interpreting to please turn cameras off until after service. At that time, all can come on camera to fellowship and share the love. Thank you for your cooperation. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's virtual service. I am Tracy Rhymes, your host. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Senior Minister, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson is our speaker. Our musician today is Amber Sweeney. Serving as today's practitioner who led the pre-service meditation is Heather Jones. Assisting with making this service open, inviting, and accessible to the deaf community are our sign language interpreters, Ashlee Goldman and Dedra Wilcher. Holding things down, working behind the scenes is Jim Lefter. On behalf of Reverend Dr. Ray, thank you for your service. Hey. At CSLGB, every Sunday is an invite a friend or family member Sunday. Make sure you spread the love and invite someone to service. We would love to have them hang out with us. Before Heather Jones grounds us in prayer, let me share this. Heather has been a licensed spiritual practitioner for 15 years. She resides in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, and she currently serves as licensed practitioner for both Centers for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore and Agape International Spiritual Center. Heather practices recognizing the divine in, through, and as all. Committed to expressing and revealing spiritual truth, Heather is a dynamic practitioner who serves as a teacher, speaker, and spiritual counselor. She is known for her sacred processes of unconditional love, where she guides her clients to deepened spiritual awareness, healing, and transformation. She is available for individual spiritual counseling, workshops, and prayer.
Good morning, CSL Greater Baltimore. Let us take this moment to close our eyes and do an opening prayer. So how grateful I am that we have this time to come together, this time to focus on the present, this time to let go of everything that came before and simply be present and communication with the divine in, through, and as each and every one of us. God is everywhere present in His fullness. God is love. God is the peace that surpasses understanding. It is light. It is joy. It is creative and expansive. It is all that there is. We are one with God. I am one with God. And I know that God expresses through and as Reverend Raymont Anderson, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, through and as Tracy, through and as Amber Sweeney, through and as the interpreters, through and as each and every person participating in the service, listening to the service, and anyone that we are connected to. And so I bless this service. I'm so grateful that we are available and receptive. We hear, we receive, and we express in our sacred spaces. We express the divine. We hear the divine. We listen to the divine. We are available for the divine to create, to love, to connect, to receive. I bless every person participating, receiving, giving, and I know it is beautiful, it is whole, it is delightful, it is everything it needs to be. Every need desired or something better is already done, it's known, it's manifested, it's realized right here and right now. So I give thanks for this opportunity to tune within, to listen to the presence and the power of God in this service. I'm grateful for all that occurs. I'm grateful for Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. I'm grateful for the Center for Spiritual Living in Greater Baltimore. So with gratitude, I release this word into the law. Accepting is good right now. And so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Thank you, Heather. The Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's community honors the world's religions. One tree, many branches. One mountain, many paths. One world, many religions and spiritual traditions. With the lighting of these candles on the first Sunday of each month, we not only honor each person on their select path, but we also bless them and recognize the light, the love, and the life-affirming nature of spirit as it shows itself in each path, in each practice, and in each person. September is National Hispanic Heritage and National Deaf Awareness Month. National Hispanic Heritage Month is a period from September 15th through October 15th in the United States for recognizing the contributions and influence of Hispanic Americans to the history, culture, and achievements of the United States. This is per Wikipedia. Deaf Awareness Month began in 1958 when the World Federation of the Deaf celebrated the first International Day of the Deaf. Then was celebrated as the International Week of the Deaf. Now, the entire month of September is celebrated as Deaf Awareness Month to increase the public's awareness for the deaf issues, culture, and people. Today, we recognize Manny Hernandez. Manny was born in Brooklyn to parents of Puerto Rican descent. Manny has been deaf his entire life. He attended the Lexington School for the Deaf in Jackson Heights. He credits his vivid imagination to the comic books he read while growing up, as well as the Broadway plays his uncle would take him to as a child. He was fascinated by the stories, even though he couldn't understand what was being said. Manny uses emphatic hand motions and expressive facial gestures to augment his storytelling in ASL. He developed his own storytelling style by using sign language to create an interactive, educational environment for his audience. He unabashedly draws on his roots. In Latino culture, gestures form a big part of our language and communication, and I am able to combine that with my sign language. You can see that I am Latino, but growing into that identity has taken a long time. During a program, he was asked, "Are you first deaf, Latino, or Latino deaf?" His response was, "I am both deaf, Latino, and Latino deaf. But it's more than that because my identity is grounded in my rich cultural experiences and heritage. The part of me that's Latino is just as much a part of me as my deafness. My two identities cannot be separated." To read more, go to that National Portrait Gallery, Sharing Stories, Deaf Latino Experiences. It's time now for announcements. We currently have 3 weekly ongoing ways to study, learn, and discuss. On the first and third Monday nights, the Sacred Contracts Book Club, hosted by Nancy Rosenberg. On Wednesday nights, the Science of Mind textbook exploration group, facilitated by Reverend Dr. Ray. And the Thursday night study group, facilitated by practitioner Dr. Ronnie Ellington. Sign up for the CSLGB newsletter, the CSLGB Facebook and Instagram pages, and get more news and information by visiting CSLGreaterBaltimore.org or .com. If this fundraising vision inspires you and you are interested in serving on the fundraising committee in any way possible, contact the chair, Rainica Permetla, and come together to strategize the most effective ways to manifest funding. To get more information, meeting dates and time, and join the committee, send an email to rainica.permetla@gmail.com. Here at CSLGB, where every Sunday is an invite a friend or family member Sunday, did you know it's also Become a Member Sunday? Yes, it is. That's right. Every Sunday is a great day to choose this as your spiritual community, your spiritual family. The first step is to take the discovery class, which is offered online and can be taken at any time. For more information on how to become a member or what comes after the discovery class, visit the website or send an email to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org or visit the website for more information on becoming a member of CSLGB. Welcome home. The CSLGB Ministry of Education has upcoming classes. Foundations of Science of Mind, facilitated by practitioner Dr. Ronnie Ellington. Starting soon, dates are pending. If you are interested in taking foundations, contact Sue Monahan. Practical mysticism, an exploration of mysticism, what it is and what it is not, provides the framework to live a more mystical life in the present time. This is a 10-week class, began September 22nd and runs through November 24th, 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The facilitator is practitioner Eugene Holden. The prerequisite is Foundations of Science of Mind. The investment is $270. This is the final week to enroll. Contact Sue Monahan to do so. For the full class descriptions and more information, you are encouraged to visit the website cslgreaterbaltimore.org or .com. To find more educational opportunities in ours and other communities we are partnered with. If you would like to receive a daily text and voicemail from Reverend Dr. Ray, type JOIN to 833-663-9021 to begin receiving your daily inspirations. You will be glad you did so. All right. On the count of 3, we shout, prayer works. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Prayer works. Woo! That was loud. Very good. We, as a community, continue to treat and move our feet, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Prayer requests can be sent at any time via email to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org. All right. If you were with us for pre-service music, you got a little taste of our musician today. Amber Sweeney is a songwriter, performer, and recording artist. Her original songs have been featured in 2 of CW's television series, One Tree Hill and Life Unexpected, as well as in Queen Sugar and Stephen King's film adaptation of Riding the Bullet, while she was performing with other artists. Sweeney has released 2 EPs, 2 full lengths, and multiple singles, one of which topped the UK soul charts at #1. Woo! Amber has served as governor for the Pacific Northwest chapter for the last 6 years and co-chaired the chapter's education committee. Dedicated to serving her community and sharing her expertise, she has organized, moderated, and participated in many education and professional development programs for both established and emerging artists. She is also a youth mentor at Rock Solid Teen Community Center. Ooh. Visit our website to learn more, theambersweeney.com. I give you Amber Sweeney.
Better? Oh, all right, you guys can hear, okay. I'm not made for captivity. I'm made to be free. I've got shackles on my heart, and I'm in search for the key. For so long I've been fooling myself, believing the lie that I can't change the course I'm on. Well, I was spinning inside this hell until I felt your hand on mine and heard you say, go ahead and put down that shame, go on and pick up that grace, discover the good in yourself. 'Cause there's a great big world with many stories to tell, so write yours, my love, and be well. Write your story, my love, and be well. Ooh, yeah. Well, now I'm taking the first steps, but my feet fall beneath me. I've lifted the weight off of my chest, but it still haunts me. And I'm afraid that I'll lose my way. Take all these risks just to fall back on the ground. I need to turn myself around and reach for the whispers from when I was found. Go ahead and put down that shame, go on and pick up that grace, discover the good in yourself. 'Cause there's a great big world with many stories to tell, so write yours, my love, and be well. Write your story, my love, and be well. Oh, you don't have to pay for it, you don't have to change for it. Just open your hands and receive. Open your eyes, baby, open your mind. It's the one thing in life that's truly free. Go ahead and put down that shame, go on and pick up that grace, yes. Discover the good in yourself. Oh, don't put down that shame, go on and pick up that grace. Discover the good in yourself. Oh, 'cause there's a great big old world with many stories to tell, so write yours, my love, and be well. Write your story, my love, and be well. Write your story, my love, and be well. Write your story, my love, and
Beautiful. Thank you, Amber. Oh, okay. Now, Heather will lead us in a spiritual practice.
So once again, I invite us all to just be present right here and right now. I invite you to close your eyes, to take a moment to center ourselves and be available to receive the message. I invite you to just take a few deep breaths with me. Inhale in, hold your breath for a beat, and do a very, very long exhale. Inhale in, hold your breath, long exhale. One more time, inhale, hold, long exhale. In this moment, we have the opportunity to just be still, to become aware of the stillness around us. Allow yourselves to tune into the quiet, the space in this moment. This moment requires nothing except for us to be simply present. I know that in this moment, we are in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. We are simply being. As I know that God is all that there is, and God is love, and God is peace, I know that we are God in the flesh. So I invite you to become aware of your oneness with God. God breathes us. God carries us. God is us. It is closer to us than our hands and our foot. It is nearer than our breath. It is our hand. It is our foot. It is who we are. We are God. We are grace. We are every quality of God. All that God is, we are. So let us just simply become aware of that reality, that we are God. Let us be quiet and be centered in the peace and the flow of this moment. Take another moment to breathe. To relax. To rest in this moment. How grateful I am for all that has occurred, all that we are receiving, all that we have. So relax in the truth that God is our life right now. And I release this word into the law. knowing it is good. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Senior Minister, Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man. One look at his resume and the reason becomes clear. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and self-awakening, he lives his bliss as a teacher, mentor, speaker, minister, and so much more. His mission is to live, move, and be an active, which is an acronym, authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, emancipate, awaken, and empower people and communities. I give you Reverend Dr. Ray.
Muchas gracias, Señora Tracy Rhymes. Thank you. So, y'all ready?
Ready.
So we're ending out the month of September, and the theme for September is reaching higher. And if you by any chance missed any of the previous Sundays, check them out, because remember, there's nowhere higher for us to go, because that which God is present where we are, and there's no reaching. How do you reach to become more of what you already are? It's being present to it. And so to continue that theme today, we're talking, and still I rise. There is that within us, for linguistic convenience, that continues to call us forward and upward, for linguistic convenience, on our journey of awakening, that calls us to a greater understanding of ourselves, our relationship with the self, our role and our purpose in society. And precisely because of this indwelling, all-dwelling divine self that we are, that affords us the ability to persevere and rise in spite of the discomfort and the obstacles. It is because of this divine truth of ourselves that we are able to see that perhaps what is in the way is the way, and that we rise not in spite of our challenges and discomforts, but because of them. So let's pause for a second, breathe, and just let that in. Because I want to start us off with this idea of, and still I rise, but the question isn't, okay, so you rise, but the question is, how do you rise? What is the consciousness that you have when you rise? So we have this very common phrase, rise and shine. But when you awaken each morning, do you rise and shine? Or do you rise, but you're bleh? So you don't shine, you rise. I mean, dude is awake. Dude with the hammer, he's wide awake. Clearly he's awake. He's awake enough. He didn't sleep with the hammer in his hand. He ain't John Henry. He woke up, he ain't Thor. Tracy said, that's me. You wake up, but you wake up with reluctance. And you're mad at the alarm clock for waking you. You wake up and you're like, oh, and the first thing you do is check your phone, rather than rising and greeting the new day with the consciousness of, yes, a new opportunity for grace, a new opportunity to be magnificence, a new opportunity to be love in expression. I'm ready for the day. Pause, rise and shine. What does this even mean, though? If we're going to rise and shine, what does it really mean for us to anchor into the consciousness of rise and shine? What does it mean for us to awaken to the consciousness of rise and shine? Well, where does rise and shine come from? Theoretically, checking the origins of it, from the Bible. Isaiah 60, 1 and 2 verses. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Now we understand metaphysically that the Lord is that truest part of the self of who we are. So arise, shine, for your light is present, and the glory of your true self rises upon you. It matches your mental equivalent. And the topic of this particular passage is the future glory of Zion. Well, to those who are of the Rastafari tradition, Zion stands for a utopian peace or place of unity. A place of unity, peace and freedom. Whereas Babylon, dude who's breaking the alarm clock, Babylon, the oppressing and exploitive system, that which is materialistic and holds us down and binds us, the consciousness that causes evil. So do you rise and allow the truth of yourself to rise upon you? Are you a place of peace or a place of oppression? Metaphysical. I'm going to go to the bottom, so come with me. The metaphysical understanding of Zion. Well, actually, let's pause. Let's start at the top. Zion, to be clear, to be unobstructed, to be established, to be a fortress. Is that how you show up in your daily life? Are you a fortress, a place of safety and peace? Are you established? Are you clear? Are you focused? The metaphysical, the place where love abides, a place of subjective consciousness where high, holy thoughts and ideas are present in consciousness. Zion symbolizes our spiritual consciousness, which is what? It's truth. So the future glory of Zion, the future glory of being that fortress, that place of peace, that consciousness of truth. Arise and shine. Doesn't say lay there and dim. Arise, verb. Arise and shine, verb. Get up and be that which you are, for the glory of your true self rises upon you. Ernest Holmes says, there is a divine urge within everyone to know more, to be more, and to express more. And I have found that the thing we are searching for is the thing we are searching with. Pause and take that in. The thing we are searching for is what we are searching with. So knowing that, then when we refer to get up and get moving, arise and shine, a divine urge is a strong desire or impulse. When something is urgent, it requires immediate action or attention. There is an urgency, a force that impels or requires action. It is urgent for us to get up and get moving. There is an urgency in being the very power of, the very presence of peace and love and truth. Breathe. Now is a time of urgency to let the divine urge of spirit be what it is in, through, and as us. Ernest Holmes also then says, the person who can control their thought can have and do what they wish to have and to do. Everything is theirs for the asking. Everything is theirs for the asking. Okay, I got you. James 4:2-3. You crave what you do not have. You kill and covet, but you are not able to attain it. You are unable to attain it. You quarrel and fight. You do not have because you do not ask. And when you do ask, you don't receive because you ask with the wrong motives, that you may squander it on your pleasures, your lusts. So, and when you do ask, you do not receive because you ask with the wrong motives. So Holmes said, when we are clear, when we do the practice, we are able to ask. The law responds. But what are our motives? What is the intention behind why we are asking? Is the intention being set from a place of fear? Or is the intention being set from a place of calm, certain peace, spiritual truth? Like, that's something that each one of us has to explore and ask. But until we know, simply asking isn't enough. Asking with the right motivation. What motivates you to ask the question? What motivates you to desire what you desire to be, do, and have? What is the urgency behind the question? Fire. If I were to say, Tracy, I'm not asking her because she's going to say something. We ain't asking Tracy the question right now. But suppose I were. Tracy, I am going to ask her. I'm going to put her on the spot because she was messing with me this morning. Tracy, tell me at least 2 qualities of fire that if you were to reach your hand for it, what would you experience?
If I reach for my hand.
Reach your hand for the fire. Put your hand in the.
Fire, it's going to cook me.
Why?
Because it's hot.
Oh, because fire is hot. Because fire is hot. Okay, but suppose you weren't reaching your hand for it. Is there another quality that fire provides?
Yeah.
What? Warmth. Okay, so hand, So hand in, hot, burn, away, warmth. But there is also the opportunity to receive light. Mm-hmm. So Ernest Holmes says, take the heat out from under our old hurts, our old burdens. Take the heat out from under our old traumas and experiences, and what's left is the light. There is no longer the opportunity for that fire, that trauma, that oppression, that whatever it is to burn us. Or as Tracy said, it's going to cook me. It's gone. And yet it is still there in terms of giving us light, clearing our path that we may see more clearly. Maya Angelou from the poem Still I Rise says, you may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I rise. Pause and breathe, because it's very important for us to recognize and understand that we are not referring to spiritual bypass. We understand and recognize that there are those experiences in the world that are painful, heinous, traumatic, evil. And yet we understand that when we are no longer able to change the situation, we are challenged to change ourselves through recognition of who and what we are and practicing principle. So that when we understand the heinous acts that are still experienced around the world today, not 100 years ago, not 400 years ago, we're talking last week, a day ago, a minute ago, somewhere, someone is experiencing great pains, great traumas. And yet, what is the practice that we are being engaged to put into practice? What are we being asked to rise and shine so that this consciousness that created these things no longer exists. So that no one any longer need suffer under. Remember the Rastafarian tradition. Babylon is that consciousness of oppression and evil, right? So how do we rise and shine as the consciousness of Zion? The consciousness of clarity and peace and protection. Well, it means we have work to do. When you experience something personally, is it possible to move through it and transcend it? Yes. And when you do so, when we know this practice, we are no longer afforded the opportunity to turn and no longer observe. As Elie Wiesel says, what hurts the victim most is not the cruelty of the oppressor, but the silence of the bystander. How many times has a school been shot up? We are sending our prayers. That's bystanding. Prayer, yes, but what do we say in our tradition? Treat and move your feet. Act, rise and shine. Pray and move. But we have to ask ourselves, am I willing to, or am I more comfortable with the lack and limitation, the idea that I am unable to, the idea that I have limitations and fears that are holding me back? Well, you know, it's easy to say, but when you are someone who is born with no arms and no legs, and you stare at life and say, carpe diem. I want to learn to golf, I'm going to golf. I want to surf, I'm going to surf. I want to swim, I'm going to swim. Tracy, I'm not getting in the water, but Nick Wojcicki, submerged. He has no arms and no legs. Snowboarding, no arms and no legs. Speaks before thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, no arms and no legs. Mentors other children and people with no arms and no legs or other varied physical abilities and disabilities. Is married with children. And yet here we are. But I can't, Tracy. I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough. I'm something enough. But if you only knew this thing rather than, and still I rise. And what we know is that we do not heal in isolation. We heal in community. Elie Wiesel said, don't be the bystander. Don't see someone fall and just look. What is ours to do? If I rise and shine, then it is mine to say, how do I help my beloved brothers, sisters, and siblings rise and shine? This spiritual practice is meant to change and transform, creating a world that works for all. That means each one of us, spirit made flesh, we have a responsibility. We have the ability to respond to any form of condition or experience. Gloria Steinem says, whenever one person stands up and says, wait a minute, this is wrong, it helps other people to do the same. When one of us stands up and says, what is mine to do, it helps others do the same. When one stands up and heals, gives other people permission to do the same. Beloved community supports beloved community. What is the old African proverb? It takes a village to raise a child. Each one of us is a child of someone, and it takes the village, each one of us, to raise that inner child and that outer child, no matter the age. Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith says, this spirit within us is so powerful that it can rise even after the most devastating of circumstances. The remix. This spirit, which is infinite power and is living, moving, and being us, enables us in our human experiences to rise. In other words, to survive, to heal, and to thrive, even after the most devastating of circumstances. No matter what the experience or condition is, because of what we are, the truth of what we are, we have the ability to come together and address it and heal it and mend it and fix it and thrive even in the midst of it. Breathe. So there's this idea, if I say this word, cross, what comes to your mind? For some people, it's how did the chicken cross the road, Tracy?
Why did the chicken cross?
No, I want to know how. I know why.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. One step at a time. One step at a time. Now, just playing off this idea, cross. There are so many versions of what a cross is. A cross is an X that marks the spot. A cross is a plus sign that adds. A cross is multiplication. A cross is that image that we are so familiar with of a crucified Yeshua, right? What is this significance of this for us? Glennon Doyle says, there is no resurrection without crucifixion first. Pause. All of our problems come from trying to rise before we surrender to our own crucifixion. What does that have to do with us? Pause and breathe. We try to rise and shine before having surrendered to our own crucifixion. Crucify means what? It means to fasten, to fix, to bind, right? So here's an obstacle, here's a crossroad, here's this opportunity for us to recognize that crucifixion is seeing the boulder, seeing the obstacle, seeing the thing that we are being invited to transcend. Crucifixion is what the caterpillar faces in becoming the butterfly. The caterpillar that tries to be the butterfly before dying in the cocoon will never become a butterfly. I mean, it can leap off the branch if it wants to, but it ain't gonna fly. How are we recognizing that whatever this obstacle is, it is an opportunity for us to be present with it, to surrender into it, to surrender and allow so that we may be transformed? You know, how often do we say, what you resist persists? We've talked about it here multiple times. But when we no longer resist it and we are present to it, we transcend it, we transmute it. We become someone different as a result of it. So our invitation is to recognize, as Malcolm X said, if you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6, that's not progress. That's not healing. If you pull it all the way out and you do not address the wound that was made, that is not progress, nor is that healing. Does not matter what or who or how this occurred. If it's not truly addressed, if it's not truly healed, then the wound remains. So yes, there are going to be those who are going to knife us in the back. There are going to be those who betray us. There are going to be those who want to nail us to the cross, blah, blah, blah. Yes, there are those who want us to be in a concentration camp or on a transatlantic boat trip into oppression. Yes, that consciousness currently exists within the minds of many people. But what is ours to do? What is ours to do right now? Are we ready to do the necessary healing work? to rise in consciousness in a lived practice? Are we ready to remove the beam from our own eye, the knife from our own backs, the millstone from around our necks? And if I'm unable to get the knife out of my back, then what am I going to do? I'm going to turn around and say, Amber, can you pull this out? I'm going to turn around and say, Fifi, can you pull that out? Tracy, can you help get this from around my neck? I'm going to ask for assistance. I'm going to ask for help. Are we ready to do this and heal all manner of wounds, past and present? And then to be a healing presence to those around us, so that those around us may also be healed. Once again, we do not heal in isolation. We heal in community, so that others may also be liberated, emancipated, and healed from all manner of dis-ease, disillusionment, discord, and dystopia. Breathe. Going back to how we started this on that first slide, there is that within us that continues to call us forward and upward, right? We remember this, okay? However, the remix is, there is that within us, that which is us, that continues to call us, that continues to call itself as us, forward and upward to greater awareness of who and what we are. On our journey of awakening, realizing, that calls us to a greater understanding of ourselves, our relationship with self, and our individual self. The greater self that is the absolute, and that absolute that is showing up as our individual self. Temet noske, know thyself. Our role and purpose in society, what is ours to do? And precisely because of this indwelling, all-dwelling divine self that we are, that affords us the ability to persevere and rise in spite of the discomfort and obstacles. In other words, to heal the circumstances and the conditions through engaged spiritual living. What CSL, Greater Baltimore, CSL, Centers for Spiritual Living, not just spiritual practice, Centers for Spiritual Practice, Greater Baltimore. That's not a thing. Center. I am the center in my life. I am the center for spiritual living. God is a circle whose circumference is where? Nowhere. Whose center is everywhere. That means right where Tracy is, she is the center of spiritual living, right where she is, right where Jim is, right where Amber is, right where Fifi is, right where Betty is, right where each one of us is. We are the center for spiritual living. It is because of this divine truth of ourselves that we are able to see that perhaps what is in the way is the way, and that we rise not in spite of our challenges and discomforts, but because of them. We are invited to live triumphantly. We are invited to live our lives victoriously. No matter what, and still I rise. And when I rise and shine victoriously, triumphantly. There is no man, woman, person, circumstance, situation, or experience that will deny me the truth of who and what I am as spirit made flesh. And as spirit made flesh, I am incarnate, infinite possibilities and potentialities. And there is no one who can or will ever deny me that truth. I rise and shine, and still I rise and shine, and still I'm tired and rise and shine. I'm sad and still I rise and shine. I'm angry and still I rise and shine. I'm confused and still I rise and shine. No matter what. And still I rise. And when I rise, I shine. Breathe. This week's invitation to practice this thing we call spiritual living. Journal. What are your experiences, conditions, etc., that present, however they're showing up, they present as obstacles, right? You see it and you say, there's an obstacle. They present as obstacles in your lives and or the lives of those around you. And what wounds remain in your experience? Well, when I was 5, when I was 15, this is what happened. Is the wound still there? Not the scar. I'm saying is the wound. And Jesus said, stick your finger in the open wound. Is the wound still open? And if so, what am I invited to do to heal it, to transcend it, to recognize it and shine? Let the very place where the brokenness exists, let the light shine from that brokenness. What about those experiences and conditions and wounds are you being invited to address and heal and transform? What assistance are you seeking, requesting, that will help you to rise and shine? Remember, you have not because you ask not. And when you ask with the wrong motives. Am I asking from a place of clarity and purpose and truth? And then lastly, have a conversation with 4 people about what it means for you to live triumphantly and victoriously. And then have a conversation with them about the poem. Like, go get the full poem from Maya Angelou, Still I Rise, and read it and ask, how does this impact and inspire me and each other to nonetheless, still I rise? You may cut me with your words and still I rise. And still I rise. How does it impact you and inspire you to rise and shine? Today, our declaration, our affirmation, I will say it first. And if you feel in alignment, join in with me on the second go round. The power of God rises in, through, and as me, and I live free. Together, the power of God rises in, through, and as me, and I live free. And breathe. Breathe and recognize that freedom in us, same way we say namaste, the freedom in us recognizes the freedom in others. The God in me recognizes the God in others. So right now, let us open our hearts and our minds and our very consciousness for the freedom, the joy, and the expressive beauty of our beloved Amber Sweeney. Thank you, Amber.
Broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out and move mountains. Yeah, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. Yes, I'll rise up, high like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet and move mountains. Yeah, we'll bring it to its feet and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again for you. In spite of the ache, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again.
Put your hands together once again, like click a heart, click the clapping emojis, click the thumbs up, click the little bugle thing that blows the confetti, like give Amber some more love. Yes, I will rise up, rise like the day. There ain't nothing that stops the morning from coming, right, Tracy? It ain't, no matter clouds, no matter nothing, when the sun is like, and when the planet moves, it's like, it's time. And no matter the ache, I will rise, not once, not twice, rise 1,000 times. I will rise as many times as I need to, because that's what it means to be in community. That's what it means to be of service. That's what it means to be the very universe itself made flesh. Thank you ever so much, Amber. Beautiful. So we breathe as we move into that part of service where we recognize the spiritual practice of tithing and donating for multiple purposes. One, to give us the ability to secure our own right and perfect divine space so that we can once again come together in person while still being a hybrid virtual community so that we may serve the greater Baltimore area. We also tithe and donate so that, Tracy says, keep the lights on, do the nuts and bolts of what it means to run a business. And we tithe where we are inspired and spiritually fed and nurtured and supported. So we breathe. Here at CSL Greater Baltimore, the practitioners, on top of their already scheduled tithing, have pledged $25,000 additional dollars by the end of the year. Thus far, as of 9/23/21, that amount is $13,350. The community's matching pledge as of 9/23/21 is $1,400. Breathe and recognize that the infinite abundance of love, joy, creativity, blessings, right? Like Amber doesn't live here. Amber's not here. But because of this magical thing called internet and Zoom, and like Amber is able to gift us with her divine power and majesty. How great is that? Now, how does that move us? And what do we do as a result? So tithe, donate, offer. How do you do it, Tracy?
There's 3 ways.
There's 3 ways. PayPal.
You want to know how I do it, or you want to know
what are the options for people?
Oh, the options. Well, you have PayPal.
PayPal.
Text messaging.
Text to give.
And the awesome
postal service. And remember that you can divide up your tithe in various ways. You can say, I want 50% to go to musicians. I want 10% to go to emergency care. I want another 10% to go to youth and family. Like, you can divide stuff up. If you want more information about how your tithes are used, you want to know or stewarded, you want to know what you can do, anything you want to know about giving, go to cslgreaterbaltimore.com/give. Or ask any of the board of trustees and you will get the answer to the question you ask. Now, here at CSL Greater Baltimore, we recognize that abundance and prosperity is not just money. Abundance and prosperity is our ability to laugh and love and smile and hug and come together, even if it's virtual. Like, it's an overflow of wealth, prosperity, abundance, and opulence. And one of the ways is financial. And here, our Declaration of Financial Wealth and Abundance affirms that we are abundant and prosperous in all ways. Together, if you are feeling in alignment and wanting to declare this truth about yourself, join along. I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. We breathe and allow this overflow of wealth and prosperity and abundance and laughter and love and awesomeness. Tracy said, be awesome today. Let it overflow. Don't drink from your awesome cup. Drink from your awesome saucer, because your cup runneth over. Let it flow and be the very flow itself. Now, did you know that the practitioner on duty today is available for prayer, for one-on-one spiritual mind treatment? And I know, I hear you now. But Reverend Ray, everything's going good in my life right now. You can have the motivation to ask for more of the goodness and greatness that you currently have. Right, Tracy?
That is correct.
Like, you don't have to wait till something's going wrong. You can say, oh, you know what? Amber's music was so good, so soulful, so enriching. I want more. And then you ask Tracy or you ask Amber, and then you get the website link, and then your prayer is answered because now you have access to some of her singles and CDs and streaming. So you can ask Heather to anchor in consciousness for even more good, love, joy, laughter. It doesn't have to just be when something is wrong. So if you want prayer, type the word prayer in the chat box, and Tracy will put you in breakout rooms. So Heather, and if there are any other practitioners on the call who are also willing to pray, let Tracy know, and Tracy will put folks with a practitioner so you can be prayed up. Yes. And we close out knowing that everything that was said and everything that was sung and everything that was prayed and everything that was meditated and every person who joined in brought the consciousness of community, the consciousness of healing, the consciousness of God to this divine and beautiful and powerful moment in time that we call Sunday service. But we know and we recognize that Sunday service is simply this moment in time. That which we are as spirit continues to be in service and of service. As Ernest Holmes says in the Science of Mind textbook, God acts upon God always. So we leave this moment in time and enter into the next moment of time, still being of service, being a beneficial, powerful presence of love, light, Zion, healing, and presence to the world. Knowing this, we declare this in gratitude and allow the law to do what it does and allow the universe to do what it does, which is yes to answered prayer. Yes, this is, and yes, you are. And so it is. Namaste. Blessings. Much love.